Also, we'd like to welcome the Massapequa Chiefs.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area's leader in sports media production. We specialize in live streaming.
Cuts inside. Touchdown, Red Devils. Rosin coach Greg Murphy. There's you. What a move! And the foul.
Videography. And photography. Covering all sports at all levels. We feature aerial photography and videography, college recruiting videos, live streaming of games.
Patience offensively against his excellent defense. Now the shot's fired. How about that? Right into the top of the cage off the stick.
Be second down and 3. Handoff this time right up the middle. And B.J. Clark is gone for the touchdown.
School events, graduations. Varsity Media is available to cover a game, a tournament, a season, or any special event.
Talk to us a little bit about what went through your mind, how you prepared for that to run such a fast speed.
Currently, spectators are limited at events. Let Varsity Media bring the event to your fans. Contact Varsity Media today for more information. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone at 866-577-1950. Varsity Media is the tri-state area's leader in sports media production. We specialize in live streaming.
Cuts inside. Touchdown, Red Devils. Rosin coach Greg Murphy. There's you. What a move! And the foul.
Videography. And photography. Covering all sports at all levels. We feature aerial photography and videography, college recruiting videos, live streaming of games.
Patience offensively against his excellent defense. Now the shot's fired. How about that? Right into the top of the cage off the stick.
Be second down and 3. Handoff this time right up the middle. And B.J. Clark is gone for the touchdown.
School events, graduations. Varsity Media is available to cover a game, a tournament, a season, or any special event.
Talk to us a little bit about what went through your mind, how you prepared for that to run such a fast speed.
Currently, spectators are limited at events. Let Varsity Media bring the event to your fans. Contact Varsity Media today for more information. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone at 866-577-1950.
Devil. If you'd like to see this game or refer somebody.
Welcome live to Freeport High School, where this afternoon the Varsity Media Sports Network presents this Nassau Conference 1 showdown between the visiting Chiefs of Massapequa and the host Red Devils of Freeport. Good afternoon, everyone. Dylan Butler here. We're so thankful to have you joining us for week 1 of the football season. Technically, you could say it's still the 2020 football season. It's, of course, moved to the spring. It's an abbreviated schedule. 6-game regular season set, 2 playoff games. We'll have a conference champion at the end of it. So it's a little bit unusual, certainly, to have this game being played in March, but we're so excited to be able to bring it to you. And, of course, it's a matchup of 2 of the top 4 seeds in Nassau Conference 1 this year, where Freeport, the two-time defending Long Island champions, bring a 24-game winning streak to this opening game. They're the 4th seed, and they take on the 2nd-seeded Chiefs of Massapequa. Red Devils have a 4-game winning streak in this series, but it's a whole new team that we'll see from Freeport this year. So many of those playmakers that we've seen in recent years, the likes of Terrence Edmond, a 3-year starter at quarterback, Makai Jinks, Dakari Stevenson, Arnold Cruz, Miles Norris, they all graduated. Javian Allen, Jaden Jackson, they both transferred to nationally ranked Grayson in Georgia. And then you also are without Wasani Allen as well, transferred to Zebulon B. Vance High School in Charlotte, North Carolina. So many of those key players that you saw last year and in the years before, they are pretty much all gone. The biggest returning player for Russ Sellen in his 35th year, that's Christian Quinn, and he's actually not able to play this week. He had a quarantine. He's a big track star, so it'll be a challenge, certainly, for the host Red Devils against the Chiefs team, too, that they'll be starting their 3rd-string quarterback. So John Giller, the returning QB, doesn't have enough practices. Backup Brian Heydrich also out. 7 players in total out for the Chiefs. So a little bit of the reality that we're in right now, but they're still going to play. Freeport will get the ball after Massapequa won the opening toss and deferred to the second half. After the opening kickoff, we'll show you the starters on offense and defense for these teams. The opening kickoff of the delayed 2020 football season. Massapequa in their visiting whites. Kick down to about the 10. It goes into the end zone, so it'll be a touchback. Freeport will start. We'll start with them on offense, and they're led by a freshman quarterback, DJ Gordon. Kid who can pretty much do it all, thrust into the position in a normal year Russ Sellen says he normally wouldn't have. At running backs, you see Deshaun Bird, Dakari Baskin. Wide receivers, Andre Wilkes, Talil Simpson, and Ryan Batson. The offensive line, left to right, of Arroyo, Gentili, Valdez, Baez, and Rawls. 1st and 10 for the Red Devils from their own 20. Gordon under pressure, gets out of it, still has it in his hand, scampers out. He'll lose about a yard. Pressure coming there by Dom Casamina. We'll show you the Massapequa defensive starters for Kevin Shippos' squad. Up front, you've got Rolo Menachini, Irving Maturo, linebacking core of Parisi, Tobin, and Casamina. Cobbs, Cialino, Morrow, and D'Alessandro in the backfield. 2nd and 11 for the Red Devils. Loss of 1 on the play. Gordon in shotgun. Low snap, deals with it, and he'll get no gain on it, so it's a 3rd and long, and this is something that Kevin Shippos says is key to his team. So many years prior, he said his Chiefs would do their job on first down and second down and give up a long yardage play. Freeport, traditionally, historically, known for their athletes, especially when they can get out wide. And that's something that Shippo said has been a key in practice to try to keep the playmakers on the inside. 3rd and 15 for a series of this game. Gordon inside handoff. It goes to Bird, and he'll scamper out to about the 23-yard line. So the Red Devils will go 3 and out, and they'll punt. Deep for Massapequa is Jake Cialino, number 15. Along with Timmy Morrow as well. Low snap, punt, end over end. Gets out to midfield, and it'll be downed at about the Massapequa 48-yard line. We'll take a look at the Chiefs starters on offense. And we mentioned before, he's a senior at QB, but again, not your regular starter. Tim Gargiulo will handle the snaps. You see the backfield, D'Alessandro, the wide receivers, Morrow, Cialino, Fountain, and Tobin up front. A freshman left tackle, Jason Kowalewski. Left guard is Keith Irving. The center, Anthony Maturo. Menachini at right guard, and Michael Rollo, the leader of the boys up front, a senior at right tackle. Massapequa starts on their own 47-yard line. Handoff up the middle. Big gain for a first down and a little more. What a run out to the 30-yard line.
First down and 4.
So big play right away for the Chiefs. Down to the 30-yard line of the Red Devils. Little motion up front. No call, though. Gargiulo in shotgun. Hands off. Run down the right side. Cutting inside. And inside the 10 was Timmy Morrow. So back-to-back runs for Morrow, the senior, returning starter, who had a breakout year last year. Another look here. You see the handoff. This time Morrow cuts it to the outside. Gets down to the 9-yard line. So 1st and goal for the Chiefs from the 9. Morrow's a guy who will, if you remember Garrett Gibbons a couple years ago, that's kind of what Morrow's going to be in this game and really throughout the season as well. 3rd carry now for Morrow, and this time he's stuffed up the middle. We'll take a quick look at the Freeport defense while we have this opportunity. Again, even all those playmakers a year ago, their defense as well. These are all pretty much first-year starters. You see Herrera, Gentili, Baez, Arroyo up front. Tariq Rawls, the middle linebacker, with Valdez and Wilkes. And the backfield of Gordon, Davenport, Rosario, and Simpson. 2nd and goal. High snap, Gargiulo cuts to the outside, spins to... looks like he's at the 6. 3rd and goal. This is a big opportunity for Freeport. Again, a young, relatively inexperienced team. If they could get a stop here, could really give them some confidence. 3rd and goal from the 6 for the Chiefs. Just underway here. We thank you for joining us. Gargiulo. Hands off to, takes it himself. Good fake. Gargiulo cuts to the outside, guts back inside, and he's just stopped at the goal line. Down to the 1 yard line. Here's another look. Good fake handoff to Morrow. Gargiulo took it himself. I thought he had a better opportunity maybe to continue to take it outside. He cut inside, and you see the tackle there. Wilkes in on the tackle. And here we go. 4th and goal on the Chiefs' first offensive possession. They started this on their own 47-yard line. Cialino wide left. Inside handoff, touchdown, Massapequa. So the Chiefs take the early 6-0 lead, point after attempt pending. Here's the second look. No trouble there for Kyle Tobin, number 32. Here's a point after attempt. It's Joe Fraschilla, returning kicker for the Chiefs. Kick is up, and it is good. So Massapequa goes 53 yards, and Kyle Tobin scores the 1-yard touchdown to give Massapequa a 7-0 lead. You're watching this Nassau Conference 1 showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
I'd like to remind everyone.
Physical therapy at its finest.
Welcome back to Freeport High School. Dylan Butler here. We thank you for joining us. 7-0 is the lead for the Massapequa Chiefs. Kyle Tobin, a 1-yard touchdown run to cap a 53-yard drive. Kick is handled at about the 8-yard line. Wilkes high steps it and is pulled down at about the 20-yard line. In on the tackle was D'Alessandro. So Freeport, who went 3 and out on their first possession, will start their second possession. On the 21-yard line. Russell in his 35th year in charge of the Red Devils, a 1975 Lindenhurst graduate, Nassau County Athletics Hall of Famer. Sellen said this might be, with everything and COVID and everything, his biggest challenge yet. Dakari Baskin cuts inside, gets to about the 26-yard line, a gain of 5. And again, Red Devils, 7 Long Island championships, including 3 of the last 4, 9 Nassau Conference 1 titles. Hand off the other side and not going anywhere. Stuffed there. Was Bird, the sophomore. So another third and a bit of a long situation now here for the Red Devils. And again, DJ Gordon, freshman QB, and really big shoes to fill, considering Terrence Edmond was the guy at that position for 3 years. Also a 4-year starter. Handoff, and again, not going anywhere. The Massapequa defense, another stop. No gain on that run outside. So another 3 and out for the Red Devils, and they'll look to punt. Rosario is their punter, 15. 4th and 4, Rosario gets it out to the Chiefs' 45. There's a flag behind the play and a big hit. Loose ball. And Freeport gets it. So Cialino went to make the run, and we'll show it to you again. He was stripped. No, excuse me, you don't have the replay of that, but out to the 44. So big opportunity here for Freeport. They remain on the offense, and let's see if Gordon can orchestrate a big play here. With a little confidence going their way. And there is a flag. I believe there's some motion on the defense. Let's see. No, the other way. False start on the offense. And again, when you look at this starting lineup, there is not a returning starter. On the offense, at least, Wildy Baez up front, he did see some time. Rawls was a guy who saw more time on defense, but middle linebacker a year ago did some good things, but he was tasked now with being the starting right tackle and having to go both ways. 31-man roster for Russ Sellen's team. Another thing, he said, you're going to see a lot of things you've never seen before. That's, I think, one of them. There's Bird battling inside. He'll get out to the 42-yard line.
Ball placed at the 42-yard line. Second down.
Sellen said in a normal year, Gordon would not be the starting QB, but it is what it is. He's thrust into the fire first game as a varsity starter against Massapequa, but he said he's got a very good IQ, a good running, a good quarterback as well. He could throw the ball. The run by Bird out to the 45-yard line. Cool note about DJ Gordon, his father Eddie, you might remember him, the sack in 2000 to win the Long Island Championship in overtime against Comac. He sacked, by the way, Mike Prahalis, whose daughter you might remember as well, Sammy Prahalis, big star basketball player at Comac. Now the 3rd and long situation for the Red Devils. Gordon back to pass for the first time. Scrambles out to the outside, gets past the 50, inside the 40, and a first down run for DJ Gordon. So first big play by a Red Devils team we're used to seeing be explosive. You see the pocket collapse, the opportunity to run outside. Gordon does just that. A big first down run to the Massapequa 31-yard line. 3:32 left in the first quarter. Massapequa, a 7-0 lead. Gordon avoids the pressure, cuts inside again, and he'll gain, looks like 2. I think you could probably already see, if you see the way that Gordon handles the ball, that's probably something that on film Sellen will remind him of. Kind of has it out like a loaf of bread. You got to be careful there. But again, these are some of the things I think that you learn on the fly as a freshman quarterback. So 2nd and 8 from the 29-yard line. This drive extended after that fumble recovery on the punt. Gordon fouls his blocks and had the opportunity. He had Bird as a lead blocker. He cut it outside instead, and might have been wiser to stay inside. So it's a 3rd and long situation for Freeport. Their last 3rd and long, we saw the biggest offensive play of the day for the Red Devils. Gordon rushing things ahead.
Third down.
3rd and 8. Gordon flushed out to the right. Flag on the play, still spins. He's taken down. Sacked by Parisi, but there is a flag on the play. The officials have a discussion. Flag is sitting out by the 31-yard line. And of course now it's going to be against Freeport, so the decision is whether you take it or not, because you did have Parisi on the sack. And here we have the call. It'll be a hold on the offense, declined. 4th down. So give Parisi the sack.
Parisi credited with a sack.
Loss of
Looks like Red Devils are going for
about 14. But Sellen will keep his offense on the field. They'll go for it. Fake handoff, Gordon under pressure. Gordon flings it upfield, looking for Wilkes, and it's incomplete. Pressure came from Maturo, and the Red Devils will turn it over on down, so Massapequa will go back on offense. Today's game brought to you by Optimum Pest Control. For all of your pest control needs, contact them today. Special discounts through May on mosquito service. We thank Optimum Pet Control for sponsoring today's broadcast. A little chilly today, but mosquito weather is coming faster than you can believe. So Massapequa here with a minute 32 left in this first quarter. Takes over at their own 43. Gargiulo fakes the handoff, looks downfield, goes over the middle. Incomplete. The intended receiver was Cialino. Good job by Talil Simpson to knock it down. Simpson, a junior, also kick and punt returner. He's up from the JV a year ago. Here you see it again over the middle. And Simpson read the route well, knocked it down. 2nd and 10 for Massapequa. D'Alessandro takes the handoff. Spins to about the 46-yard line.
Taking it down at about the 46-yard line. 47. And it'll be 3rd down for the Chiefs.
So a 3rd and long here for the Chiefs. 3rd and 7 as we approach 1 minute left here in the first quarter. Massapequa with a 7-0 lead, courtesy of that 1-yard touchdown run on 4th down by Kyle Tobin on their first drive of the game.
3rd down.
Gargiulo gets the play call. He backs up. He's got D'Alessandro to his left. Gargiulo back to pass. Goes over the middle, and there's a flag. There was Ryan Fountain was going for the ball. He got his legs tangled with DJ Gordon. You saw the flag immediately thrown by that back judge, so this will be a pass interference penalty. And again, considering it was 3rd and 7, this will be a first down play for the Chiefs. So the officials will just march the ball into Freeport territory, put it down at the 39-yard line. 28 seconds to go here in this first quarter. There's not many fans here, but the few that are able to disagree, of course, with the call from the official. Gargiulo hands off and cutting inside. Looked like it was Morrow. Excuse me, it was 32, Tobin. He gets to the 37-yard line. That looks like the last play of this first quarter. So the Chiefs marched it into the end zone. Kyle Tobin with a 1-yard touchdown run on their first possession, and that's the difference right now between these Nassau Conference 1 rivals. Massapequa with a 7-0 lead over Freeport. You're watching this Nassau Conference 1 showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Now is the time to promote your business on our broadcasts.
Now Farmiga will fire and find the back of the net.
Top of the key, 4-3, good.
With viewership in the thousands, your company will get the local attention it needs. Best of all, we offer affordable rates. High school sports online audiences are growing. Take advantage by advertising with Varsity Media.
Hands off, 3-point shot is up and in. You back them back 3 yards, it doesn't matter. Touchdown, Freeport.
Contact us today, 516-403-2050, varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Freeport High School. Dylan Butler here. 7-0 your lead by Massapequa. We want to let you know that today's game brought to you by Steam Squad Carpet Cleaners. Mention this ad and save 10% on service. We thank Steam Squad Carpet Cleaners for sponsoring today's broadcast. You see their website, steamsquad.com, and there's the number as well for Steam Squad Carpet Cleaners. So we start second quarter. Massapequa on offense. They'll have a 2nd and 8 from the 37-yard line. Dylan Butler here. We thank you for joining us. Back-to-back games we have for you as well. Matt Shortus on the call as Garden City takes on Cary out at Cary High School. That game started a little bit before ours. So we thank you for joining us for this game, for that game, for all our games that we have as well. Chiefs back on offense. Even though they're down numbers here in this first game, Kevin Schippo says he likes the way the team's been working. They had some intramural practices in the fall. They worked again in January. He hit the weight room. He's got some young guys, but he liked this opening challenge for them. Morrow in motion. Gets the handoff, runs right. Gets a block by D'Alessandro, but did not get much. Tackle by Gordon. So a 3rd and long situation from the Freeport 38-yard line. Martise Davenport checks back in for Freeport.
Third down.
3rd and long. Gargiulo surveys the field, goes over the middle. It's complete. First down completion
Down in the red zone.
to Dom Casamasina. Casamasina, one of the captains, a wrestler. He's known more for his blocking, but here he is in on a tight end situation. You see him over the middle. Good pair of hands as well by the senior. Good route runner.
Holy shnikes. Touchdown.
And right away, another touchdown for the Chiefs. Morrow with the score. So he punches in from 6 yards.
58 left in the
Here you see it again, the handoff. Morrow untouched until he got to the end zone.
Bring a field goal unit onto the field for the extra point.
So an impressive 3rd down conversion. They'll go for 2. Did they get in? They did. D'Alessandro pushed himself in. Looked more like a rugby type of setup the way they handed off on that 2-point. D'Alessandro, who a year ago was more of a defensive-only player, an outside linebacker, but he got some carries towards the end of the season. Another one of the big bodies that Chippos relies on. So the Chiefs have a 15-0 lead early here in the second quarter. You're watching the Nassau Conference 1 Showdown right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Massapequa set the kickoff now.
Welcome back to Freeport High School. Dylan Butler here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. The visiting Chiefs have opened up a 15-0 lead. So Timmy Morrow with the 6-yard touchdown run. D'Alessandro with the 2-point conversion. That after Tobin had that 1-yard touchdown run in the first quarter.
Massapequa set the kick on this Thursday afternoon. Kick is up.
Kickoff bounces, and it's fielded and downed
Down right
by
there.
Wilkes at the 15-yard line. So it's all to play for here for Freeport. And Russ Ellen says, look, we're missing all of these playmakers, but no one is going to sing the blues for us, that's for sure. He said 24 straight wins. He knows it's a challenge this year with so many inexperienced players, but that's what it is here. He says he's not. It's not going to be uncommon as well throughout Nassau County and even really on Long Island as well. Score from our other game, Garden City, a 27-0 lead over Cary in that Conference 2 showdown. Wilkes cut to the outside, got to about the 19-yard line. Wilkes, a guy who is a returning starter, but not for the Red Devils. He transferred from Holy Trinity. He's been doing well, a starter, he said, but not for us. Also runs track for the Red Devils. Gain of 4 yards on that run by Wilkes. 2nd and 6 from the Red Devils' 19-yard line. Gordon runs to the outside. Nothing doing. Taken down. Looked to be Tobin with the tackle. Tobin, one of Massapequa's better returning players, a hard runner, tough kid. Shippo says you can tell football is important to him. He's a silent leader for the Chiefs, a good example for other kids on how to do it right. Gets Gordon for a loss, so it'll be a 3rd and 11 situation.
3rd and about 11 yards now for the Red Devils.
Gordon blitzes on, gets it off. Impressive that he even gets the ball away to Dakari Baskin. And Baskin scampers out to the 20-yard line. It'll be well short of the first down, but you could see the pressure coming, and you like to see that from a freshman. Just doesn't get nervous under that situation. Blitz came, he just got out of it. Looked like it was Parisi who provided the pressure. There's the punt. Morrow field at the 46-yard line. Avoids the first tackler, cuts to the outside by the Chiefs bench, and he's taken down at about the 44-yard line. So Massapequa goes back on the offense. Talk about players that the Chiefs are missing. We mentioned a few of them for Freeport. Well, again, John Giller, the returning QB, all-county player a year ago. Doesn't have enough practices, so he's missing, as is the backup, Ryan Heydrich. Ryan Comel, who Shippo says is probably their second best offensive lineman behind Rolo. Doesn't have enough practices. Liam DeVos, he was going to be the starting left tackle. Also not in the mix. And as such, a freshman starting at left tackle, Jason Kowalewski. Shippo says, let me know the last time you saw a freshman start on my line. But as Sellen said, you're going to see some wild things this year. Morrow cuts to the outside. There's a flag on the field. He cuts inside and is forced out. But again, there's a flag up the field with 8:20 left, and this one should come back. Likely a hold on the offense. The official situated about the 35-yard line, so they'll march it back from that point. Here we see the call. A hold on the offense. That'll get him back to the 45-yard line. So it's a big gain by Morrow, but it's negated. You could hear an eastbound Long Island Railroad train out to our left. 1st and 11 for the Chiefs. Gargiulo, high snap, inside handoff. Morrow breaks a tackle, but he is taken down at about the 41-yard line. Morrow was a deep threat a year ago. Good route runner. So explosive. There he is again, and you can see the explosion to the outside. Morrow is taken down. By resulted in a turnover, which would have been the second team's turnover. We saw that earlier one that extended a Freeport drive. So 4:11 left. Massapequa will start at their own 16-yard line. Gargiulo. Hands off inside to Tobin. He barrels himself forward. Tobin, 5'11", 205-pound junior. Gained a lot of experience a year ago as a sophomore. He's got 2 short rushing touchdowns on the day. Second down from Massapequa. 2nd and 4 from the 21-yard line. Gargiulo to the outside. Nothing doing.
Nothing doing, folks. 3rd down.
Taken down. Looks like Angel Arroyo, the defensive end, the junior, in on the tackle.
Here we go.
So big opportunity here for Freeport again. If you can get a stop, potentially get good field position off of a punt, and maybe you can get the ball in the end zone here in the final 3 minutes. That all, of course, means you need to stop right here. Gargiulo, Wilkes, pressures, goes over the middle. It's complete to Morrow, but he is tackled just past the 20-yard line. So they do get the stop. And now Freeport can see if they could turn something into offense here now, as Rosario and Simpson, or Simpson I should say, is the deep man.
Rosario and Simpson now back to receive.
2 and change left here in the first half. Massapequa, a 22-0 lead. So Massapequa will call a timeout with 2:05 left in this second quarter. Today's game brought to you by Steam Squad Carpet Cleaners. Mention this ad and save 10% on service. We thank Steam Squad Carpet Cleaners for sponsoring today's broadcast. You mentioned for Freeport, Christian Quinn, one of the players who made Newsday's top 100 players on Long Island, a big-time track standout, the New York State long jump champion. He'll go and compete in college at track. He attended a track meet in Virginia. The result, that was last week, and the result is he had a quarantine this week, unable to play. But Quinn is a guy, we saw him last year. He transferred in. It was his first year a year ago. Really impressive. Zellen says he's a great kid as well. He's a guy who is arguably the Red Devils' biggest big play threat. And, of course, how many were there a year ago? The 2 Allens and Edmonds and so on and so forth. So off the timeout, 4th and 5 from Massapequa. They'll look to punt. One man deep is Simpson for Freeport. It's a short kick, and it takes a Freeport bounce down at the 41-yard line. So opportunity beckons here for Freeport. Just under 2 minutes left in this first half, and again, Massapequa gets the ball back to start the third quarter, so Freeport really needs to find a way to get in the end zone and get some momentum perhaps going into halftime. Salen said because of kind of being so behind, he really had to slice down his playbook significantly for this first game. Gordon hands off juking to the outside and not much there.
Nothing there.
That was Davenport with the run.
Davenport, number 20.
But Talon said, look, we usually start the first week, our workout in April. When we hit the ground at the end of August, he said our whole offense and defense are in. Special teams, everything, done. 10 days ago, he said we had nothing in. We had to take our call sheets from last year, threw out 3/4 of them for this game. You got to keep it simple, he said, but he wants to see the compete level, and even though the score is not in their favor, you could certainly see these younger players are competing for him this afternoon. No gain on that play. 2nd and 10. Fumble! And it looks like Massapequa recovered. Davenport fumbled. You can see the Massapequa players signaling that they have it. We'll have a stop of the clock, and they do. So Davenport fumbled, and the Chiefs recover. And you wonder here if Shippo's up 22-0, realizing he's got the ball to start the third quarter, if he doesn't maybe go for a big play here in the final minute of this second quarter. In a way, you could say, off of that turnover, they're kind of playing with house money, so let's see if they can capitalize off of that turnover. They're on their own 45-yard line, 56 seconds left in this first half. A first half, again, as you can tell by the score at the bottom of your screen, dominated by Massapequa. Tobin the lone back. Gargiulo's got twin receivers to the right. Gargiulo, pump fake. Pump fakes again, throws it up in the middle of the field. Batted down, and it is complete. The catch by Morrow. Take another look. 2 pump fakes, throws it over, and Morrow comes down with it, using all 5'11" of that frame. 1st and 10 from the 29. Clock winds, 35 seconds left now. Gargiulo has time, goes to the outside, finds a receiver in Cialino, who gets out of bounds with 30 seconds left in this first half. So you expect certainly the Chiefs to take a look at the end zone at some point here. They've got timeouts too on their hand. Gargiulo flings it left side. Cialino! Touchdown! 23-yard completion. Gargiulo to Cialino. You expected them to go end zone at some point, and here you see it again. Gargiulo has time. Really a perfect ball. Even though there was a double team, threw it right where Cialino was. Cialino, that deep threat option. And a 24-yard score, and man, that could not have gone better for Massapequa. You get the turnover on downs. Point after attempt by Fraschilla is good. There's a flag as well. Fraschilla went down, so it'll be a roughing the kicker. This will be assessed on the kickoff.
Penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
29-0 is the score with 23 seconds left. Gargiulo to Cialino for that score. And you'd certainly have to say at this point that Long Island best 24-game winning streak that Freeport has, it's in jeopardy here in the opening weekend of high school football here on Long Island. Again, an abbreviated schedule of sorts. We've got a 6-game regular season You'll have 2 playoff games as well. Usually, Hofstra-Stewart Stadium, the home office for almost all of postseason football in Nassau County. Certainly the semifinals and finals, though this year, that's not the option. All those games will be played on campus sites. Of course, right now there's spectator restrictions. Some districts are allowing visiting fans, others are not, and we thank certainly a lot of the Massapequa faithful for joining us here this afternoon on this broadcast.
We are the Freeport Red Devils.
Here's maybe a chance you think maybe an onside here for Massapequa. And again, they've got a 29-0 lead. You're going to get the ball to start the second half, and you can maybe really put the hammer down here as well. No, they'll go long, far side. It's fielded about the 15, fumbled, but Freeport will have the ball. So it's been a difficult game here for the Red Devils. And again, this is a team, you graduate Terrence Edmond, a 3-year starter quarterback. You've got other key players in Mackay Jinks, Dakari Stevens, and Arnold Cruz, Miles Norris, Javian Allen, and Jaden Jackson. They transferred and started for the number 2 ranked team in the country, Grayson in Longville, Georgia. Javian Allen, by the way, ended up being an all-state first-team player. Sellen says he understood the need at that point to transfer. Look, there was so much uncertainty if there'd even be any football this year. Those guys are players who will go on and certainly play a high level of college football, so he said he would have done the same if he was them. Handoff, run to the outside, a late flag as well. Davenport was the rusher. There should be a face mask on the defense. And it gets pushed up to the 25-yard line.
Ball at off the 25-yard line.
That'll be good for a first down.
After the penalty. First down. 14 seconds left.
Clock is winding. Will Freeport go for a big play here? Gordon, he hands off. That's some good running there to the outside, and cutting back inside was Davenport. He stopped at the 35-yard line, but that'll do it for a first half dominated by the visitors from Massapequa. The Chiefs, the number 2 seed in Nassau Conference 1, they've got a 29-0 lead here at the break. We'll go to commercial. We'll have some first half stats for you as well, and the start of the third quarter as well. You're watching the Nassau Conference 1 showdown between Massapequa and Freeport right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Welcome back to Freeport High School. Dylan Butler here. About 5 minutes or so away from the start of the second half. Massapequa, a dominant first half. They lead this one 29-0. The second-seeded Chiefs from Massapequa with a 29-0 lead. We'll take a look at some of those first half stats. Right away, Massapequa jumped ahead 7-0. Completing a 53-yard drive was this 1-yard touchdown run by Kyle Tobin. His first of two. Massapequa got a stop defensively, and then they found the end zone again with early in the second quarter, 10:58 left in that second quarter. Timmy Morrow, we talked all about him and his opportunities and the way that he can be a difference maker on offense, and Morrow extended the lead to 15-0, and here is his 6-yard touchdown run. D'Alessandro went for 2, so it was 15-0 Massapequa. They got another stop defensively, and then Kyle Tobin, we mentioned before, he had that 1-yard touchdown run. Well, he added his second score with 6:29 left in the second quarter. Here you see Tobin getting in the end zone from 6 yards out. The Ferschilla extra point was good. 22-0 was the score at this point. Freeport had an opportunity off of a punt fumble. They weren't able to capitalize. A fumble the other way led Massapequa to this chance here with 23 seconds left. Gargiulo, a third-string quarterback, going deep, finding Jake Cialino, the junior wide receiver, for a 24-yard score. 29-0 is your score. We'll take another quick break. We're about 3 minutes and change away from the start of the second half. Massapequa leads Freeport 29-0. You're watching this Nassau Conference 1 showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area's leader in sports media production. We specialize in live streaming.
Cuts inside. Touchdown, Red Devils. Rosin coach Greg Murphy. There's you.
What a move!
And the foul.
Videography. And photography. Covering all sports at all levels. We feature aerial photography and videography, college recruiting videos, live streaming of games.
Patience offensively against this excellent defense. Now the shot's fired. How about that? Right into the top of the cage off the stick.
Be second down and 3. Handoff this time right up the middle. And B.J. Clark is gone for the touchdown.
School events, graduations. Varsity Media is available to cover a game, a tournament, a season, or any special event.
Talk to us a little bit about what went through your mind, how you prepared for that to run such a fast speed.
Currently, spectators are limited at events. Let Varsity Media bring the event to your fans. Contact Varsity Media today for more information. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone at 866-577-1950.
Welcome back to Freeport High School. Just about set for the start in a few minutes of the second half, and there you see that banner, 7 Long Island Championships. You see the years there, 3 of the last 4 as well for Freeport, including back-to-back. That's also back-to-back undefeated seasons, so it's a 24-game winning streak, a Long Island best 24-game winning streak, included in those were 9 Nassau Conference 1 titles as well, but that's that winning streak that dates back to November 18th of 2017. Well, that's in jeopardy here today as Freeport trails 29-0 at halftime. You look at their schedule. They'll take on Hempstead next week, then at the top-seeded Sailors of Oceanside. Then they're home for Port Washington. They play the rivalry game out at Baldwin on the 10th of April, and they round out the regular season, the abbreviated 6-game regular season, at home against Buddy Krummenacher's Dalers of Farmingdale. So it's a learning experience for sure for Freeport, and Russ Sellen expected that coming in. I mean, look, you've got all those playmakers graduated and transferred, so you've got other guys who need to step up. Gordon will be a good one. You see the freshman quarterback. He'll be a player to watch, certainly, and Sellen says, look, he's in his 35th year of coaching here at Freeport. This is his biggest challenge to date. As for Massapequa, Kevin Shippos, a 1997 graduate of Baldwin High School, 4-year varsity football player and wrestler at Baldwin, 2-time All-County football player as well, wrestled at Penn State, a 2002 graduate. He is in his 10th year at the helm of Massapequa. He started as a volunteer assistant coach, physical education teacher in 2005, became the defensive coordinator of the JV in 2008, and Shippos has led the way ever since. Again, the Chiefs a 2-seed. And of course, we mentioned before, when you talk coaches and programs and some of the best in Long Island, it doesn't get any better than Russ Sellen. 35th year, 1975. Graduate of Lindenhurst High School, inducted into the Nassau County Athletics Hall of Fame. Russ Sellen, and again, this will be a better team in the weeks forward. We mentioned before Christian Quinn, probably their biggest playmaking threat. He's had to quarantine this week after a big track meet in Virginia. Again, the New York State long jump champion. He'll go and continue to compete in track in college, so he's forced to miss this game. Also, Dante Lloyd, a very good player, a hybrid type guy. He'll be a starter in week 2, but again, not enough practices, so a very young Freeport team missed 2 of their most experienced players, which also means 3 to 4 positions as well that you miss. No fans allowed here for Massapequa, so of course there's some watching our broadcast, and we thank them for that. An abbreviated or a lessened amount of fans allowed for Freeport at home. And obviously all of those COVID restrictions as well. You get your temperature taken when you get here, and it's the reality of the world that we're in. For Massapequa fans who are unable to be in, hey, look, there they are. There's a few of them right now out watching the game from beyond the field out on Sunrise, and we hope that you guys also watch this broadcast, or at least the replay of it as well. Set for the start of the second half. First half again dominated by Massapequa. Freeport.
Big shout out to you guys out there.
Freeport looking to as well just kind of scrape their way back. Again, 24-game unbeaten streak. You look at the series, and it really speaks to the big playability of Freeport these last 4 games. 48-20 was their last win. That was back on November 14th, 2019 in the Nassau 1 semifinals. That followed a 49-13 Week 2 win last year as well. You go back to week 5 of the 2018 season. That was a 39-12 win. And then a 33-13 Nassau 1 semifinal win back on November 11th, 2017. Opening kickoff of the second half is fielded and fumbled by Morrow. He recovers at the 1, cuts inside. There's a flag on the play, and Morrow taken down at about the 17-yard line, but likely will be coming back.
22-yard line.
Look to be a block in the back penalty against Massapequa, which will push them further back to start this second half. And they are quarterbacked this week, at least, by Tim Gargiulo, and he did a pretty good job there in that first half. Again, he's a guy who wasn't the starting, or wasn't even part of the depth chart of quarterbacks. He battled for the position, lost out to John Giller, ended up getting switched out to wide receiver, but again, Giller unavailable, backup also unavailable, so Gargiulo's got the job and did a good job here in the first half. They'll start off on their own 5-yard line. In motion is Tobin. Inside handoff, and not much there. Should get him back to the line of scrimmage. Tobin, we mentioned before, 2 short touchdown runs, the 5'11", 205-pound junior. An H-back, fullback type, one of the better returning players for Kevin Chipos. In a school where football is so important, but also you've got tremendous athletes, lacrosse especially. Tobin is a guy who takes football seriously. Run to the outside by Morrow. And the stop again. Morrow gets about a yard. Morrow, one of those lacrosse standouts for Tim Radomski, an assistant coach on Kevin Chipos' staff here, will go on and play at Pace University. So 39 deep in their own zone are the Chiefs. Freeport coming out with some defensive intensity to start this third quarter. Gargiulo goes sideline. It's complete to Cialino, but it is short of the first down marker. Another look. Gargiulo to the outside. Cialino cuts the outside, but he's short by
Chiefs will leave their offense on the field.
About 2 yards. So Chipos looks to be going for it. Tobin, the lone back, could be also trying to draw Freeport offside. He's not. He's going to go. Tobin pushes himself forward, and he'll get the first down.
First down, Massapequa.
So you get the push from the guys up front. We mentioned them before. The freshman Kovalewski at left tackle. You got Keith Irvin at left guard. Anthony Maturo at center. Jake Menachini and Rolo. Rolo's the leader of that group up front. 53, that right tackle. Started a year ago at right guard, but he replaces Comel at right tackle in this game. An all-conference player a year ago is Rolo. Gargiulo over the middle. He's got a man. It's complete. And Cialino. See you later. Touchdown, Massapequa.
Touchdown, Chiefs. Gargiulo airing it out.
Second touchdown pass from Gargiulo to Cialino.
That touchdown.
See, not a lot of room there for Gargiulo, and that was a pass prior, but Cialino, a long touchdown reception. Again, his second touchdown reception of the day.
Frashilla.
Point after attempt by Frashilla
It's good.
is up, and it is good. Massapequa extends their lead
Massapequa extending their
to
lead now.
36-0. We've got 9:38 left in the third quarter. Here it is again. Cialino, the long run into the end zone. It's all Massapequa here. You're watching this Nassau Conference 1 showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Jake Sealy.
Now is the time to promote your business on our broadcasts.
Now Farmiga will fire and find the back of the net.
Top of the key, 4-3, good.
With viewership in the thousands, your company will get the local attention it needs. Best of all, we offer affordable rates. High school sports online audiences are growing. Take advantage by advertising with Varsity Media.
Hands off, three-point shot is up and in. You back him back 3 yards, it doesn't matter. Touchdown, Freeport.
Contact us today, 516-403-2050, varsitymedia.net.
We welcome you back to Freeport High School. Dylan Butler here. Week 1 of the Nassau Conference 1 schedule, and today's game brought to you by Optimum Pest Control. For all of your pest control needs, contact them today. Special discounts through May on mosquito service. We thank Optimum Pest Control for sponsoring today's broadcast. A 73-yard touchdown connection between Gargiulo and Cialino has extended Massapequa's lead to 36-0.
Kick is up. Taken short.
Kickoff fielded and fumbled, and it's recovered by Massapequa, and the ball is down, so you could see Cialino looking to find the end zone again. The ball was down, but it was recovered by Massapequa. So the Chiefs looking to add on to their score. And if you are Kevin Shippos, you've got to be absolutely thrilled with what Gargiulo has done for you at quarterback.
Ball's at the 30-yard line.
He's got 2 passing touchdowns, both to Cialino. And again, this is a guy wasn't even expected to be as a quarterback. So Massapequa, off of the fumble, will have a short field. 1st and 10 from the Freeport 30-yard line. You've got trips receivers to the right, inside handoff, and D'Alessandro broke some tackles and barrels forward to about the 31-yard line. That's Michael D'Alessandro. A year ago, more of a defensive-only player, outside linebacker. A big body, 5'11", 185, runs downhill hard, tough kid. And as we saw there, hard to take down as well. He was moved to safety this year from the linebacking core. D'Alessandro and Tobin, Shippos thought coming in, were huge keys offensively and defensively, as well as Morrow and Cialino. And when you look at the way Massapequa has scored in this game, check all those boxes for sure. Another inside handoff, and D'Alessandro gets a couple more yards. We mentioned before Rolo, you see him at right tackle. Massapequa's culture is of quiet leaders, right? The more of the work horse, lunch pail guys, not really rah-rah guys. Rolo is the opposite of that. He's that screamer. He's the yeller. He's the one who calls people out. Sometimes Shippos jokes he's got to calm him down. He's so intense. One of the top linemen in Long Island. Handoff again. This to Morrow.
Morrow with the handoff.
We mentioned the name of Garrett Gibbons before. Gibbons, a guy who did everything. Touched the ball in multiple ways as a wildcat, as a running back, as a receiver. And that's very similar to what you'll see Morrow's role this year. We saw him out of wildcat earlier as well. 4th and 1 situation here for Massapequa from the 21-yard line. Clock is ticking.
4th down.
Gargiulo at wildcat. Hands off. Bursting forward for the first down was Tobin. He'll get...
First down for Tobin.
They pushed him back, but he was well ahead of the line of scrimmage. And
the chains keep on moving.
You move the change. The clock continues to wind. 36-0 Massapequa here in week 1 of the abbreviated.
In the 3rd quarter.
Still saying a 2022 season because, of course, in the fall, knock on wood, you'll have a regular football season with cheerleaders and band and everything that makes high school football on Long Island great. Cheerleaders are here from Freeport. Handoff goes to D'Alessandro, runs to the outside and pushed out of bounds. We mentioned before the cheerleaders, and a little bit of a chilly day for them, but you love to have that support staff out here for any school, certainly here for Freeport. We've got a great band. We'd hope to see them as well in future weeks, if not in the fall. And again, all part of what makes high school football on Long Island such a special community event. 2nd down and 3. Pushing forward is D'Alessandro. And he'll get the first down.
It's a first down for D'Alessandro.
So Massapequa continues to push. Again, this is a drive that started at the Freeport 30 off of that fumbled kickoff return. And you can see some of the big guys up front for Freeport. And these are guys, Luca Gentili, 77. He is very much his brother's keeper. You see him right there. His older brother, Anthony, wore that same number a year ago, was a starting center on the team. Wildy Baez as well, 50, another captain. Tough kid as well. And Selin, much like Shippos, they love their wrestlers, especially up front. D'Alessandro dances to the outside, cuts back inside, and he is taken down. Clock continues to run.
2nd down now for the Chiefs.
But then you've got a pair of juniors as well, Arroyo up front and senior Randy Herrera. These guys didn't really see much of the field a year ago. You had so many of those terrific players. We mentioned the playmakers, but let's not forget as well, Miles Norris was an outstanding lineman for Freeport. He's another who graduated. So you're not just dealing with inexperience in the skill players, you're also dealing with it on the line. 2nd and goal from the 5. Gargiulo hands off, and untouched into the end zone goes Michael D'Alessandro. D'Alessandro, a 5-yard touchdown run to extend this Massapequa lead. So much of this drive was D'Alessandro. And here you see him again, just gets the blocks up front and gets into the end zone fairly easily. Here comes Fraschilla. He's a point after guy. He does have the ability to kick some field goals, but point after is up and it is good. It's all Massapequa. The Chiefs lead 42-0. 3:43 left in the 3rd quarter. You're watching the Nassau Conference 1 showdown right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
physical therapy at its finest.
On to 16.
Welcome back to Freeport High School, and today's game brought to you by Steam Squad Carpet Cleaners. Mention this ad and save 10% on service. We thank Steam Squad Carpet Cleaners for sponsoring today's broadcast.
Massapequa set to kick off.
Massapequa a 43-0 lead.
It's up.
Ball's fielded at about the 18-yard line. Davenport gets to the outside.
Davenport out of bounds. The
Sophomore,
Red Devils will start their offense.
a starting boundary safety, one of those several players brought up from the JV team a year ago, 5-3.
Red Devils looking to score some points here. With
So now Freeport,
3:33 left in the
again, they
third.
fumbled that kickoff return. So this is really their first offensive opportunity. You see
3:33.
Talil Simpson, as we'll stop the clock. Simpson is injured, the junior, and he'll be helped off. We hope Simpson gets back on the field. Junior, as is the case with a short squad, he's a guy who does a little bit of everything, right? So he's plays on both sides of the ball. He's also the kickoff and punt returner as well. And Freeport will start 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line.
13, red. Keep them on right. One more. There you go. 32. Take two black. Time out here. Follow them off, too.
And Freeport
Timeout.
will take the timeout.
Freeport.
Seemed to be a little bit of confusion as to the play call, and Russ Sellen will
Go Massapequa just because I two has Freeport.
talk it over a little bit. We'll stay right here. You can see the huddle for Russ Sellen, and he said, look, week one he knew would be difficult. Again, you're missing two of your top players, certainly two starters in Christian Quinn and Dante Lloyd,
How many teams?
and you've got a lot of young players throughout. But he knows, look, it's a 6-game season, but by the time they get to week 6, they'll be a much better team forward. And again, think about this. This is the abbreviated spring season. They're going to be right back. He said, look, we're going to take about a 2-week break or so, and then we're back with our regular schedule to get ready for the fall of 2021. So, look, they're competing. This is Freeport. They're not giving anything away.
The Thunder.
They're going to play every game to win, but think about how much better this team, with a coach like Russ Sellen, with a freshman quarterback like DJ Gordon, how much better they'll be after regular workouts in the spring, the regular summer program, and then come late August, getting ready for the start back in September. You got to think Freeport's going to be back where they've been, and where they've been has been the absolute pinnacle on Long Island. Handoff to Davenport. He's wrapped up behind
Wrapped up
the line of
the
scrimmage. It'll be a loss of 1
stifling defense now by
on the play.
Chiefs. Getting their ears back.
Massapequa defense, and again, maybe with the exception of Rolo, who's the defensive end. He was a starter a year ago at right tackle. A lot of these guys, even the younger or even the older guys, I should say, weren't regular starters. Like Menachini at defensive tackle was on the JV, a varsity wrestler. Keith Irving, the defensive tackle, a senior who didn't get a lot of time. Gordon
Gordon will keeper.
keeps it himself.
With positive yardage. Breaks it out to about the 42-yard line.
He gets out to the 42. And you've also got Maturo up front on the other end, 66. He's extremely strong for his size. He's only 5'9", 185, but he's so quick off the ball. And another guy who is going to be kind of driving the bus for this Massapequa team. He's going to be the
Third down.
He might be doing some point after attempts. He's kicking off Maturo. Backup long snapper as well.
Nothing doing.
Shippos joked he's also kind of driving the bus for this team. Under 2 minutes left in this third quarter. All Massapequa Chiefs, the number 2 seed in Nassau Conference 1. The top seed, Rob Blount's Sailors of Oceanside. Right behind Massapequa, their biggest rivals, the Dalers of Farmingdale, and these Red Devils of Freeport come in at 4. Going through the seeds for Conference 1, you've got Syosset at 5, Port Washington 6, East Meadow 7. Then you go Hempstead, Uniondale, Baldwin, Plainview JFK, Westbury, Herricks, and Hicksville. Gordon gets to the outside. He's pulled down
And that's another Freeport
at the 46-yard line. It's a first down run for DJ Gordon. And again, this is a guy who is the present but also the future of Freeport at the quarterback position. Unenviable for Gordon, especially as a freshman, to try to fill the void left by Terrence Edmond, a 3-year starting quarterback, a 4-year varsity starter as well, was Edmond. Davenport wrapped up, pull down. Nice tackle there by Dan Greco. 68, Greco Jr., 5'9", 185. Shippo said he improved, or he was impressed with him a year ago on JV, an undersized defensive tackle, but he caught his eye because no one could block him because he was so quick. Then he saw him in the weight room in unlimited time, and what a job he did. 3 quarters in the books, and it's Massapequa with a 43-0 lead over the Red Devils of Freeport. You're watching this Nassau Conference 1 showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Now is the time to promote your business on our broadcasts.
Now Farmingdale will fire and find the back of the net.
Top of the key, 4-3, good.
With viewership in the thousands, your company will get the local attention it needs. Best of all, we offer affordable rates. High school sports online audiences are growing. Take advantage by advertising with Varsity Media.
Hands off, 3-point shot is up and in. You back him back 3 yards, it doesn't matter. Touchdown, Freeport.
Contact us today, 516-403-2050, varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Freeport High School. Dylan Butler here. Final 12 minutes of this Week 1 showdown, and these guys in white. It's been all Massapequa in this one. 43-0 over Freeport, and Freeport's Long Island best 24-game winning streak very much in jeopardy here this afternoon. Second and 11 from the 45-yard line. Gordon fakes the handoff, takes it himself, cuts inside. Gordon into Massapequa territory before he's taken down at the 38-yard line. And that is an example of what you're going to see from Gordon for the rest of this season, but also for the next 3 years as well. You see the athleticism by Gordon, faking the handoff, getting upfield. 5'11", 155, a freshman. Thrust into a position that in a normal year he wouldn't have to be thrust into. He's a varsity wrestler as well, which, of course, Russ Sellen loves. He admits throwing him into the fire, but he's done well. He fumbles, and he'll scamper to the outside for a loss, which, of course, could have been a lot worse. But that's a little bit, right, of the give and take you get with a freshman, where you make a great play on one side and mishandle the handoff on the next. You mentioned the Freeport schedule and Massapequa. See Selin. He has his guys. Look, they're going to be good. This is a blip.
Red Devils, 7 down.
The 4 seed in Nassau Conference 1. You don't want to face them come week 5 or 6. They'll be that much better by the end of this abbreviated regular season. Gordon, he's got options. Explodes up the middle. He's tripped up at about the 35-yard line.
34. 35-yard line.
Massapequa's upcoming schedule. Next up for the Chiefs, they'll take on Port Washington. Then the rivalry game for them, that's home for Farmingdale on March 27th, and they're at Syosset. They're home for Hempstead, and they end the regular season with an always fun game out at Oceanside against Rob Blount's Sailors. 2nd and 6 from the 35-yard line. Gordon again, a keeper, pushes himself forward on 3rd down to the 30-yard line, which will bring up 4th down. It'll be about 4th and 1. And you think really for Freeport, any of these opportunities are in-game opportunities or live game opportunities to just get better, right? So here's a 4th and 1 situation. Again, you're down 43-0, but what will you do when it's a tight game in the 4th quarter? All of these situations important. Gordon hands off. Davenport with the push up front. He gets the 1st down and more.
And that's another Freeport 1st down. Red Devils on the march.
It's a good-looking run by Davenport.
Impressive run by Davenport.
Just a burst right away. And Davenport gets ahead, a fresh set of downs for the Red Devils. Fumble on the handoff opportunity. Gordon recovers his own. You could see it was some miscommunication between Baskin and Gordon. See it here again. There's the handoff. Baskin looks like he wasn't expecting it. Gordon, a good presence of mind to then jump on the football and recover. And we're seeing some good leadership here from Gordon. I think the future's bright at the quarterback position for Freeport. Again, son of Eddie Gordon. There's the handoff to Davenport. Davenport pulled down from behind, a horse collar and a flag thrown as well. So we're going to add to this run. You can see the horse tackle there by Carter D'Souza, 24. So we'll tack on to this run. And I think if you're Freeport right now, look, you're just looking at opportunities. You see the call there. The horse tackle, push it ahead, 1st down.
Go 20 red too. Where is he? He's probably on the sideline. Don't worry about it.
You want to look for positives coming out of this game, and I think just getting into the end zone and orchestrating a drive in this second half will be important for Freeport.
1st down.
So it'll be a 1st and goal.
Ball at the
They're at
11-yard line.
the 11-yard line, so 1st and 10 from the 11. Cutting inside was Baskin,
Ball to about the 5-yard line.
and the senior
Basket.
wide receiver
Sorry, Basket.
gets to the 5. Baskin, a co-starting running back with Deshaun Bird, the sophomore. But again, 2 guys who did not have much playing experience a year ago, so this is all brand new for them.
Freeport in the red zone.
They're 2nd and 4 now from the 5. Gordon hands off. Baskin cuts back inside, and he's taken down. Fumble, though.
The ball was lost.
Was he down?
Follow that guy.
Awaiting the decision.
Actually, stay with white hat. Stay with white hat, too. Choose line. Stay with
They're still waiting. The whistles are blowing.
Knee was down.
And Baskin was down. That's what we thought when we saw it live.
Let me see Russ Sellon. Let me see your coach, the inside coach. 2. Keep coming. Right, hand right.
And the Red Devils
Keep going. Not going.
retain possession.
So you make it a 3rd and 1 now from the 2-yard line. Russ Sellon calling out the plays.
About the 2. Say the 1 or 2.
As we're under 7 minutes now. 43-0 lead for Massapequa. Freeport looking to find the end zone here for the first time. Gordon, low handoff, runs right. Cuts inside, touchdown, Freeport. DJ Gordon finds the end zone. A 2-yard touchdown run. And a really nice block as well by Davenport to lead him in there. And Freeport gets on the scoreboard.
Davenport opened the door.
See it again there. Outside, C20, Davenport right there. Seals his man off and allows Gordon to get into the end zone. Mentioned before, Father Eddie, that historic sack to cap the 2000 Long Island Championship game. The first of 7 LICs for Freeport. That was against Comac. That was an overtime win in the year 2000. Eddie now also coaching on the JV level here at Freeport. Red Devils will go for 2. Gordon looks for options, scrambles right, still looking, and he's taken down short of the end zone. Tackled by Johnny Yanner. So the Red Devils get on the board with 6:20 left here in the 4th quarter. You've got to go back to week 3 of the 2017 season for the last time Massapequa beat Freeport. It was right here at Freeport. 21-13 was the score on September 23rd, 2017. In that game, Owen Glasgow had 2 fumble recoveries, a forced fumble, 13-yard interception return for a TD, and 8 tackles. Garrett Gibbons, you mentioned his name before, 8 receptions for 125 yards and a touchdown. And Angelo Petrakis, a wrestler, a face-off guy as well on Tim Radomski's lacrosse team. He had 15 carries for 60 yards and a touchdown. That was Massapequa's last win over Freeport right here at Freeport, and from that point, Freeport has won the next 4 games against their rivals, against the Chiefs, and they've done it in convincing fashion as well. 48-20, 49-13, 39-12, 33-13. So it did not score less or fewer than 30 points in any of those 4 wins against Massapequa the last 4 games. Certainly today, those tables are turned. Massapequa, a 43-point outburst against Freeport, making some noise here. Kevin Chipos' team as a potential Conference 1 champion. Again, it's a different situation this year. It's a 6-game regular season. You've got 2 playoff games, so that quarterfinal that you usually have is eliminated. It's only the top 4 teams. Those games all played at campus sites instead of Hofstra-Stewart Stadium. There's a big hit.
And Jake the Snake, Cialino.
Cialino's taken down at about the 25-yard line.
Down at about the 25. Jake has been busy today, folks. Number 15.
Here's a good look at Cialino. 2 touchdown receptions for Cialino. The last, a 73-yard one in the second half. So big opening weekend for Jake Cialino.
Once again, folks, we are in the fall season. I know it's spring, but we are playing fall sports.
One thing about Cialino, you look at his size, he's 5'9", 160, but
Cross-country track.
Kevin Chippo says don't even think about that. He's a guy who plays a lot bigger. He plays more like he's 260. He'll throw his face in against linebackers. He runs hard. He doesn't back down. He's also a force in the return game as well. 1st and 10 for the Chiefs
First down now for
from their own 25-yard line. New quarterback in for Massapequa. And in fact, it seems like new players throughout.
Ryan Fountain is your new quarterback.
So Ryan Fountain in at QB for Massapequa. Fountain moves from wide receiver, sophomore. He was a QB a year ago on JV, brought up. They tried him out at QB, but Chippo said they liked him a little bit better at wide receiver. And now he's got an opportunity here for kind of make his name as well. Hand off to Yanner, and the junior gets pushed ahead. Fountain is a kid. You know, you always want to make these reminders, right? Like, who does he remind you of, or what is this? Who is this guy like? Like Morrow was getting a lot of the reps that a Garrett Gibbons we mentioned before has. Well, Fountain, Shippo says, reminds him a little bit of Craig Burge. If you remember him from a few years ago, went on to play lacrosse at Georgetown. Burge, same body type. They run good routes, smooth, good hands. He's just learning the game, and another one of these quiet workers that Massapequa just seems to churn out. Fountain just hands off. A couple yards on that run. That was Chris Sanfilippo,
The last Red
senior.
Devil loss was to Oceanside. Looks like some time ago.
So as we approach 4 minutes left in this fourth quarter, you expect Shippos to again to just hand off. Though there are options as well. You've got Jake Minogue on the bottom of your screen.
Fourth down.
4th and 2. They'll punt the ball. And it'll be downed
Takes a Massapequa bounce.
by Minogue.
That ball will stop in the sunlight.
About the 22-yard line. And again, Freeport's a team that's got Long Island's best 24-game winning streak. You go
3:45 left.
back to November 18th, 2017, the last Freeport loss. That came to Oceanside in the Nassau Conference 1 championship game. 17-0 was that score at Hofstra.
Oceanside. But the Red Devils are a proud franchise.
So 3:45 left in this one. An impressive Week 1 performance by Massapequa. And a lot of guys standing out for Kevin Chipos' guys. You could certainly say Gargiulo played well, Morrow, Cialino. The guys up front as well, Rolo included. Freeport takes over, 1st and 10 from the 22-yard line. Davenport off the handoff, runs left side, gets to the sideline, and he is forced out at about the 26-yard line.
Temperatures definitely dropped a bit.
Davenport was a player who was expected to see really more time exclusively on the defensive side as that boundary safety. But he's impressed in
Second down now.
some limited opportunities. He got 5 yards on that first carry. 2nd and 5 from the 26-yard line. He'll get the next handoff as well. He tries to run to the outside. And he's taken down. The first in on the tackle was Yanner 5. You see him there on your screen. Which brings up a 3rd down. Got the 24-yard line. So a loss of 3 on that play. 3rd and 8. We remind you as well to just watch the Varsity Media social channels and subscribe here as Gordon pushes ahead. We'll have a full slate of football games going forward, including next weekend and beyond. So follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and of course subscribe here on our YouTube channel and find out where we'll be next weekend. This one of 2 games we had in this Week 1 slate. Garden City, a comfortable win at Cary. In the other, Garden City, the defending Conference 2 champion. Dave Ettinger's squad, a big Week 1 win over Mike Stanley's squad.
Kick is up.
There's the punt, no return.
Freeport bounce. Watch out, referee.
Takes a big Freeport bounce, and it's downed
Down at about the
at about the 33-yard line for Massapequa, and
1:11 left.
Kevin Chippos leading this Massapequa team, the 2nd seed, and a year ago, 7-3 were these Chiefs, losing to Freeport in the Nassau 1 semifinals, 48-20.
Next game for the Red Devils is versus Hempstead.
He said, too, look, that's a
Great
game
game on the 20th.
very much this is very much a rematch for him. He said look, we're trying to defeat the 2-time defending Lyon champions. They ended our season in pretty embarrassing fashion last year at Hofstra, and he's been reminding his team of what happened in that game leading up to this one. It's something he said that was eating at him as a head coach. He's responsible for a 48-20 loss. He said it was not a good performance from anyone on his team. He said, sure, as Fountain takes a knee with a minute left. He said, look, Freeport, you give them the props they deserve. They were a dominant team, but he felt that they should have been better than they were on that day. And there was very much the emphasis, very much the impetus this week to kind of put that one behind them and start this abbreviated and delayed fall season with a win. And they'll do that here as Fountain will take another knee under 40 seconds left. So Massapequa will snap the Long Island best 24-game winning streak that dates back to November of 2017. That'll be the final snap of the game, and that's it for this one. So Massapequa, they get a little bit of revenge from that semifinal loss in November, and Kevin Chippos' team. And again, one of the things you see here, Chippos will come out to midfield with Sellen. The teams, that traditional handshake that you see after the game, not part of the protocol. So they're all going to separate, but Chippos and Sellen, a great deal of respect between those two head coaches. They'll shake hands out at midfield and at the end of this one. Again, your final score, Massapequa 43, Freeport 6. Chiefs open the season with a win, and Freeport obviously with an opening week loss. We thank you so much for joining us here from Freeport High School. Dylan Butler Reminding you again, follow our social media channels for our next broadcast. This has been a presentation of the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area's leader in sports media production. We specialize in live streaming,
Cuts inside. Touchdown, Red Devils. Rods and Coach Greg Murphy. There's you. What a move. And the foul.
videography, and photography. Covering all sports. We feature aerial photography and videography, college recruiting videos, live streaming of games,
Patience offensively against this excellent defense. Now the shot's fired. How about that? Right into the top of the cage off the stick.
Be second down and 3. Handoff this time right up the middle. And B.J. Clark is gone for the touchdown.
school events, graduations. Varsity Media is available to cover a game, a tournament, a season, or any special event.
Talk to us a little bit about what went through your mind, how you prepared for that to run such a fast speed.
Currently, spectators are limited at events. Let Varsity Media bring the event to your fans. Contact Varsity Media today for more information. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone at 866-577-1950.
You cold? I cannot feel my hands. On my feet. Yeah?
Thank you for being here today.
Oh, no worries. Thank you for calling me.
How'd it go?
It went good.
Yeah? You got a handle on the production truck?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
It's easy, right?
Honestly, the school board's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Well, today it was, but that one just because of the capture card they were saying.
Yeah.
And then just knowing where to go, kind of, like which brakes to run and stuff like that.
Yeah, we could go over that.
We need to get these, especially now.
What?
We need more of these.
Okay. I know. He gave him a hard time to get in. I heard.
Too.
They give you a hard time too with all your
I
stuff?
was like, I'm doing both.
Did you end it? Can I take this jetpack out?
I did not, so that's the other question. I don't know how to.
Okay, here, I'll show you.
Like, do you just hit the
You
live
just-
button?
Yeah, you hit the live button again. And then